have this kind of for the T, the maximum speed is 68 kilometers. Maybe from here to here, I think it takes more than 2 days. And every 4 months, he visits the duct angle and he discussed. And Dr. Tweed has to stop to his teacher's principle non-extraction philosophy. However, he analyzed for frequent relapse and the patient imbalance. Sometimes he was tempted to give up orthodontics. After 5 years practice, Tweed was disappointed with his result. So he studied his cases and retreated several cases by extraction of 4 first premolars. Fortunately, at that time in 1930, Dr. Broadbent introduced cephalogram in orthodontics. So Dr. Tweed started to use cephalogram in orthodontics. You know the famous Dr. Tweed triangle. So 12 years research, he found 90-degree IMPA is ideal position of low incisors. Another 8 years later, finally he decided FMIA is more important than IMPA, and 65 is known. It took 20 years to find out this simple angulation. This is very famous display in Chicago in 1940. The first law is the initial model, second law is treated without extraction, third law is relapsed, and he retreated after extraction of premolars. 100 cases displayed. From these cases, he found this kind of famous Tweed triangle. This is the Tweed Foundation in Tucson, Arizona. I've been here in 1990 to attend Tweed medical course. And he started his education since 1941. How many sets in original Tweed mechanics? Anybody knows how many sets? Change of set means we have to change of arch wide. Sometimes both. As you can see here, we use crest 3 elastics to correct crest 2 narrow occlusion without extraction of appropriate molars. We call it delayed extraction. Set 2, 3, 4, 5. After ankle preparation of low austerities, he started to use crest 2 elastics after extraction of appropriate molars. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 sets. Almost all the famous doctors attended Dr. Tweed course, and they never applied this complicated mechanics in their daily practice. And I think Dr. Tweed is the first man to emphasize the importance of anchorage in orthodontics. And he reinforced anchorage by tipping of austerities, distal tipping, like a tent pad. And he classified the 3 kinds of anchorage preparation. First degree, just a knife, last molar. Second degree, distal ridge, almost gum level. Third degree, all the possible teeth, open and low, should be distal. This kind of occlusion we call it Tweed occlusion. Still, Tweed medical mechanics accept this kind of overcorrection of ocular frame. If you read Dr. Tweed book, you can see the first, second, and the third degree anchorage preparation in the cephalogram. Anyway, why anchorage control is important? This one case refers from Germany. This is my friend's daughter. And the German doctor promised to finish the treatment before graduation. However, this is the situation when I first saw her. And you can see typical side effects when you extract teeth and interact anterior teeth bed. Teres was going, vertical bone, vitamin deepened, and anchorage loss. I was very happy to see this kind of case again, because also when I was beginner, also I met this kind of patient a lot. especially in low angle extraction cases. Every year, when I teaching my students, I told them, orthodontists spend almost lots of time to spend to treat iatrogenic malocclusion created by ourselves. I think Dr. Tweed also faced lots of these cases after extraction of premolars. That's why he made his mechanics so complicated. And of this kind of mechanics, we need patient operation from the start of treatment to end of treatment. I think the difference between expert and the beginner is the how controlled accuracy better. And I learned so many different kinds of mechanics from my teacher, Professor Sung. I tried almost all this kind of mechanics, but any kind of mechanics couldn't satisfy me, because accuracy control is controlled by patient, not by orthodontist. I attended the Tweed course, Tweed medical course in 1990. Anyhow, Dr. Merritt simplified 14 sets to 6 sets after receiving permission of Dr. Tweed before his death. So, but still, patients have to wear this kind of 2 headgears from the start of treatment to the end of treatment. Also, we have to use heavy rectangular wire from the start of treatment. They do not use long wire or light wire. So it means we need very high skillful wire bending techniques. Anyhow, I attended this course in 1990. Anyhow, Dr. Merrifield said that the technique without headgear is like a ship without rudder. It sails along the path of least resistance with a never thought to where it is going. It means without using headgear, we cannot think of high quality of orthodontics. However, we need patient cooperation. And what is most commonly used intraoral anchorage appliance in conventional treatment? I think PP bar. Almost all the press 1, press 2 extraction cases, I always ask to my students to test the bar. Transporter bar, also we can keep molar width. Also, we can prevent form side effect, transverse bowing effect. Also, if we kick into molar width, if it goes move anteriorly, the root touch to heavy cortical bone. That's why we can increase anchorage. Also, during swallowing, sometimes the bone can be intruded. There's soldering type or switch type. Now I'm using on the TP bar, but the problem is the bonding failure. So I use this kind of ligature wire. Then I turn around the ligature wire onto the contact point, and I bond it just in case of failure. Now why skeletal anchorage? Because if you read Dr. Moy's textbook and the orthodontics, there's one phrase. It's nature of orthodontics. One of them is the patient determining success of treatment. It means even though you're excellent orthodontist, you cannot have the result without patient cooperation. Who is the pioneer? And Dr. Grigor, he is orthodontist, excellent, and maybe period or one I think. Anyhow, they pressed one surgical screw here and then this anteronatal spine and tried to intrude anterior very, very successfully in 1983 in human being. However, after that, nobody tried to use this kind of dangerous weapon, dangerous tools in orthodontics. However, 40 years later, Dr. Kanami in Japan, he introduced 1.2 millimeters. In this article, they didn't mention the diameter of this screw. I think when I look at the cephalogram, it looks more than 2 millimeters, I think. And he was very successful. And Dr. Kanami gave us very important information. Only 1.2 millimeter diameter of microimplants is enough for orthodontic purpose. Dr. Bay, one of my students, is the first pioneer in Korea about using a skeletal anchorage in 1998. First time he used 2 millimeters. Finally, we found 1.2 millimeter surgical screw, which were used by plastic surgeon to fixate very thin bone. And 1999 at the Congress of Korean Association of Orthodontists, he introduced so many excellent cases using this kind of 1.2 millimeter diameter screws. After that, it spread all over Korea and all around the world. Also at that time, Osaka also started to use this kind of skirt anchorage. This is our first design. Here you can see there is slanted neck. If there is slanted neck, we can insert more. Because there's no slanted neck, if we apply elastics, we can have some kind of gingival impingement. So automatically we can have hygienic space between elastics and soft tissue. And for change that's using microimplant. And I did a lecture at the Moyer Symposium 2004. At that time, the chief editor of Asian DO, Dr. Turpin, said, I believe that implants will change the course of orthodontic care and will lead to significant change over the next 10 years. Already realized almost all the doctors all over the world nowadays using skeletal anchorage. When I first used this skeletal anchorage, I used a lot to solve problem cases. Almost all orthodontists have problem cases because patients determine the successful treatment. For example, the former case referred from Germany, I changed bracket position and I placed 3 microimplants on the upper. Then I intrude. At the same time, I try to retract. So without patient cooperation, patient like this. If there's no skeletal anchorage, even though you're excellent orthodontist, it's very, very hard to achieve this kind of result within a short period. There are many, many terms in skeletal anchorage: microimplant, mini implant, skeletal anchorage system, TAD. Many American doctors use the term TAD, but I do not like this term because all this kind of anchorage is TAD. This is also temporary anchorage device. This is also temporary anchorage device. This is why some doctors put one more word, temporary pin anchorage device. Anyhow, I prefer to use the microimplant or mini implant. Anyhow, this case was very successful. Why many doctors hesitated to use skeletal anchorage in daily practice? Because it looks like dangerous. Also, at that time, we had good mechanism. Just for intrusion of upper and lower arteritis, we had this kind of good mechanism, kind of intrusion art. Usually say utilis art. This is data. Bushang is not dentist, and Yao is Cheng. According to his article, still many doctors worried about root damage when you place microimplant. Looks like this. This was done by our oral surgeon for intermaxillary fixation at the initial stage. You can see big injury. Then what will happen if we touch the root? We can expect ankylosis. However, according to the risk by using robots, using dog, even though this kind of severe injury, usually we have a normal healing histologically. Also, Dr. Ben, in his PhD degree, also we did this kind of injury using microimplant. Also, there's no problem of the ligament after 8 weeks later. This very famous study for implantation using monkey. If you use a monkey, many doctors believe the result. Anyhow, according to his article, their article, if this injury is less than 4 square millimeters, usually ankylosis disappears. Endodontics, we did a lot of ectomy. According to this article, about 5 to 6% we had ankylosis. Anyhow, any kind of injury by microimplant or drill is less than this kind of injury. It means, and Dr. Buyukilamas in Turkey did human being case record. Also, they did this kind of research, but this kind of research is some ethical problem, so he couldn't publish in the journal. And they did this kind of artificial injury, and they scratched on the cement, of course, there was regeneration. Even though they encroached to the dentin area, 8 weeks later, there's regeneration. One of my students in Seoul, he penetrates root like this. And your patient had to receive this kind of endodontic treatment. And after that, I could see some kind of regeneration. And in conclusion, ankylosis doesn't look like a big problem after small loose touch by microimplant. Then, what will happen after root injury clinically? Many doctors agree that if microimplant touch root, it looks like more failures. Just thinking. Dr. Broda in Japan, unfortunately, he passed away. He phrased microimplant and he classified 3 categories: in the middle, near to the root, touch to the root. Then compare the success rate. If microimplant touched the root, success rate was 62%. Even near to the root, 87 compared to in the middle, 93%. But we need more scientific data about this method. Then, how much do we touch the root during microimplant placement when it's placed in the middle of the root? One time I did a course in Japan, then I asked to drill and cover this area with tape. 1/3 of dentists touched the root. So I asked one of my students to do research like this. We made this kind of model, then we measured interradical distance, then we choose most commonly side, 6 side, then we select 9 interns and 9 orthodontic residents to drill in this phantom model. This is the contact ratio total group. 9 novice is interns. They have never placed microimplant in their patient. But also 9 also residents. They have already experienced. Of course, also residents have higher, less touch to the root. And this contact ratio total group. As you can see here almost 1/3 of them touch the root. However, for example, for right side, all the doctors touch the root first. In the lower, all the doctors touch to first molar, right side, touch to the second one. It means there is optical illusion. All the doctors are right and the person. Anyway, this article was published in AO in 2010. So I asked one of my students from Thailand, and he did this kind of research using this kind of tree guide. Then we can reduce the touch from 30% to 70%. So if we decide path of micro implant on the model, we can reduce the touch. It means we can increase success rate. Anyway, in my conclusion is that root touch doesn't look like a big problem. However, it will increase failure rate. How about infection? Also, when I first tried to insert micro implant, I worried about ankylosis. The second one is infection. The third one is root injury. You can see many implants, I think, done by lay people. Still many doctors hesitate to place micro implant by themselves. I think placing of micro implant is easier than extraction of teeth. Even orthodontist can extract teeth. Every dentist have ability to extract teeth. When I visited New York, in the newspaper, they worried about this kind of operation by lay people. Why doctors cannot place this kind of small micro implant by themselves? This is big nail in between brains in Korea some years ago. Korea drink a lot. Second in the world. Number one is Russia. And drunken state, he fell down. Next day, he felt some headache. He visited a medical doctor. The medical doctor told him, do not drink too much. Anyhow, 5 years later, he took X-ray. Like this, the length was 6 centimeters, diameter 3 millimeters, in between brains. It's not sterilized one, not sterilized one. During 5 years, no problem. Why no inflammation? Russian doctor, no reason. When I did research in Russia, the Russian doctor told me he drinks alcohol every day. The alcohol sterilized his nail. So, at the first 3 years, I always prescribe antibiotics after placing a small micro implant. After that, until this time, I have never prescribed any kind of antibiotics after placing small size of micro implant. But when it did incision, I prescribed antibiotics. Then, we have a prophesied micro implant. Some doctors prefer to use a big one, some doctors prefer to use a small one. Also, there is a pros and cons, Then, bigger diameter micro implant and the mini-plate guarantee higher success rate. According to article Dr. wrote in Japan, at the time he was at Hokkaido University, he compared 3 kind of system. One is a bigger one, the other one is a small one I sent to him, the other one was mini-plate. According to him, there's no difference in success rate. And when he used small one, more success rate than big one. Even though he did mini-plate, there was failures. Even though they used more than 2 screws. fixate miniframe. Also, small one, the pain will not last more than 1 day. But when they use bigger one and miniframe, sometimes the pain lasts 2 weeks. After that, he always is very, very small one. Why small one is okay in orthodontics? This is some best case a long time ago. 43 years old female. Case 3, patient denied any kind of surgical intervention anyhow. He placed 4 mm length, 1.2 mm diameter screws to retract whole dentition, whole mandibular dentition back. You can see 4 mm length, 1.2 mm diameter, enough. Any kind of orthodontic force, I think. Because moving whole mandibular dentition back is the highest, the high difficulties movement in orthodontics, I think. Nowadays, everyone knows that small microimplant can move whole dentition back. But at that time, it was amazing to move whole, especially mandibular ornamental dentition back. And a big size microimplant are not needed for orthodontic purpose. So if possible, I try to insert small one because it's easy to insert, less root damage, high success rate in my experience. However, if it's small one, we can have more fracture. And it usually is titanium to make implant. Here you can see there's lots of fracture in this size of frozen implant. Why use titanium for microimplant? Because of biocompatibility. There are 4 kinds of pure titanium commercial. Grade 1, Brainmark pure titanium. Brainmark implant made of pure titanium. Grade 1, 99.5%. But its strength is too soft. Yield strength, tensile strength. So if this numbers goes up, more strength. So that's why nowadays many companies use grade 3, grade 4, then alloy. However, this numbers goes up, the osseointegration power will be decreased, but strength will be increased. That's why they are doing surface coating in prosthodontic implant. Which one is expensive? Actually, grade 1 is the cheapest one. Grade 1 is very cheap. Pure gold is very expensive, but titanium is opposite. The most commonly used titanium alloy is around 6% aluminum and 4% vanadium. Same as the ultra. Same material, same material. Nowadays, nobody uses stainless steel ultra. Why? We can make head big size. If head is big, it's easier to hit all. Which costs more? Frozen implant, it takes 3 minutes to cut on the low inferior part. However, orthodontic microimplant takes 5 to 8 minutes. It means the smaller it costs more. The smaller it costs more. Still, many doctors, if implant are bigger, it costs more. Absolutely opposite. It means small microimplant costs more than orthodontic implant. So the smaller it costs more, the longer it costs more. The most commonly used were this size. Here 1.3 and the first 1.2. Then how about stainless steel? Unfortunately, we cannot use this kind of strong. Stainless steel like 400 or 300, which I use for to make instrument. Very strong. But American FDA do not allow to use this kind of stainless steel. Only SS316-L can be used for implant. When I checked breakage point, almost same, but this titanium are higher than stainless steel. However, stainless steel, it takes a little time to be broken. Titanium will be broken abruptly. Unfortunately, we cannot differentiate which one is stainless steel, which one is titanium. Almost same color, but titanium is very light material, very light. We cannot differentiate with our eyes. That's a problem. So many doctors think this has same character of this kind of stainless steel. Also, you cannot see small size of stainless steel microimplant. 76L a little sticky. It's very hard to make small. Usually you can see 1.8, the big one. That's why many doctors stainless steel is high strength than titanium, but it's not true. That's why we use titanium dryer compared to stainless steel dryer. Anyhow, we have to know the breakage point of microimplant which we are using. So when I do course, always I did a lot of breakage exercise. If you feel the breakage point in your 2 fingers, you will never break microimplant in real patient. Okay, also I compared success rate of titanium alloy and stainless steel microimplant. And according to my student annual study, there's no difference statistically, but a little higher failure than stainless steel. Also, I tried 8 microimplant in real patient. SS, one of them was failed. And there's no difference in success rate, I think. Sometimes doctors send me an email. Your microimplant contains nickel or not? Because my patient has a nickel allergy. So when I look at the meal sheet, there's no nickel content, unfortunately. Anyhow, stainless steel microimplants are not stronger than titanium alloy microimplant. This stainless steel is, this one. This one is very strong, but we cannot use this material for implant because American FDA do not allow. How about coating? Also, we did animal research. Also, when coating, also the removal torque was increased, of course. However, success rate, machined, anodizing, there was no difference in my clinical experience. When I did calcium bursting, when I insert 3 of them, 2 of them was failed, so I stopped. And it means you do not need to do surface coating for microimplant. Why? This case treated one of my friends in Seoul, and they placed 2 microimplant. It's made of grade 2 pure titanium at the time. After using them, they want to remove, but they couldn't. And also the microimplant should be removed easily. That is the big difference between prosthetic one. Prosthetic one, the best way is to last until die. So especially when you place micro in the mandible, with the thick one, especially coated one, also used to be very careful. So portable microimplant not necessary for ortho purpose in my experience. Surface coating do not cost a lot if it's set up mass production. Also, how can you place microimplant? When you use pure titanium, we always need drilling to prevent fracture. Drilling, then we insert. But after changing the material from titanium alloy, we can insert without drilling. So at first generation, the tip is round because we have to drill first. So if the tip is round, if touched the root, we do not need to worry about root penetration. After changing the material from pure titanium to titanium alloy, we can insert without drilling. So the tip is very sharp. Also, you should be very careful to not break the tip if you insert without drilling. Almost all the doctors, including me, prefer to insert without drilling. This is cover page in 2010 AJDO by Dr. Kim. Anyhow, vertical damage, microfracture. When they use larger diameter without drilling, more great micro damage. So if you use thick one, we can have very high initial tightness. But that kind of high initial tightness do not guarantee higher success rate. Maybe that because of microfracture. I'm not sure, but we are just thinking. This one research done for one of my students with Professor Bob, and they compared angulation. Depending on angulation, they compared vertical bone damage. Of course, if they increase angulation, you can have more damage. So, whenever you place microimplant, think which size, which way is best in each individual patient. There is no strict rule. Initial tightness, of course, as I said before, if you use a bigger one, bigger diameter, the initial torque force is increased. If the bone is dense, of course, there is a big difference. 200 pound cubic force, I think. This one looks like pencil bone. This one looks like vertical bone. So if you use bigger diameter, we can have high initial tightness, but it does not guarantee high success rate. That's why we did a lot of research using FEM study. Same diameter, then we want to reduce initial tightness. You can see same diameter, depending on the design, the torque, initial torque is different. According to one article, clinical article from Japan, this very famous article, and according to him, proof initial tightness is less than 10 Newton centimeters. If initial tightness is higher than 10 Newton centimeters, more failures in treatment. Then how can we measure 10 Newton centimeters without torque gauge? Here's pen. I rotate only 2 fingers, thumb and index finger. If you get heavy resistance, it's about 10 Newton centimeters. It means if you cannot insert microimplant within 2 fingers, remove and drill, then insert. Do not use arm or do not use wrist force. It will be broken. Try to insert with 2 fingers. Force application timing. Nowadays, most doctors apply force immediately. But fundamental rate of osseointegration. And according to Professor Yamamoto, there is no difference in success rate statistically, immediate and delayed. Data is higher in immediate development. Anyhow, statistically, there is no difference. This T is 1.2 microimplant which I'm using commonly. This bovine cow rib. Cow rib is similar to human mandible. Then I insert and I want to take it out. When I applied 23 kilogram force, we couldn't take it out. But usually we apply force horizontally. When I applied 28 kilogram force, 1.3 microimplant, 4 diameter is only 0.8 was broken. What is optimal also in the force level? Less than 300 gram. Less than 300 gram. It means just mechanical retention is enough to withstand any kind of horizontal force. That's why we refer to its very thin one. Why immediate loading is possible? This is my patient for distraction osteogenesis. You can see we insert the pin, we have to apply force immediately. At least within 3 days, we have to apply force. There's no timing of osseointegration, even though we use titanium screw. This is the red system, also kind of mechanical retention to apply force. So, anyhow, in conclusion, if it is needed, you may apply the force immediately. How about success rate of microimplant? Anyhow, in prosthodontic implant, usually highest success rate in mandible. However, in orthodontic microimplant, higher success rate in maxilla. It's opposite. Still, we do not know why we have more failures in mandible in orthodontic microimplant. It is good research theme, I think. Just my thinking. Why more failures? I think more result and external force. Because this is one of my patients, class 3. Then I insert 1.6 millimeter diameter of bracket head microimplant. Then I apply the force. After that, I try to retract all anterior tension back. What happened? Several months later, it was failed. Then I removed it, it was bent. It means they received high stress during mastication. I think it's just one reason, but we need more scientific data. So I prefer to the more smaller head size too. Then head is smaller, we can have less external stress during mastication. Also, after using microimplant, we have alternative problems. Fracture, infection, root resorption, root injury, soft tissue fusion, failure rate. I'm going to show one last case done by Dr. Bear. And you can see on patient, no crowding. And upper, so anyhow, cheek complaint is bialveolar protrusion. We have to extract all first 3 molars, then apply also microimplant, then inject 6 antlers together. What happened? Non-modeling of alveolar bone. Some patient, not all patient, especially adult patient, only bodily retraction. Sometimes we could see this kind of non-modeling. I think bone metabolism do not catch up the speed of tooth movement, I think, after using this kind of skeletal anchorage. You can see almost perfect translation. However, patient complained, so he took medical CT. He wanted to see what happened. This is cephalogram. You can see non-modeling alveolar bone. But how about other side? So he sent his patient to take medical CT. Almost no alveolar spot. Then it's okay to retract anterior teeth 5 or 6 millimeters back. And your patient received alveoloplasty, then more change of facial profile to his retention. Then 5 years later, he took combined CT this time. Nowadays we can use combined CT. Fortunately, you can see the new alveolar bone orthogonal spot. Fortunately. So after retraction until its back, if you took X-ray, in many cases you cannot see alveolar spot. But there's no gingival recession, it's better to wait. I think. This case was published in article in 2018 in AZLDO. If you are interested, you may search this article. Okay, if Dr. Moyes is still alive, maybe he will erase this phrase in his textbook, because now we can control anchorage by ourselves, not patient. Thank you for your kind attention. Because of